Good morning. Welcome to class this morning. I just set this up. It's so dark. Okay. Right. Let's get to our mats. We'll just take a few breaths. Standing tall at the front of the mats. Connecting with the earth. Connecting with your breath and with the space around you. Letting the movement of the breath come and go. Letting everything external also remain in the background. Shifting your awareness to your body perceptions. Letting your mind rest for the next hour. I'm going to take a deep inhale, circle the arms around and stretch all the way up, head still centered. As we exhale, bend the knees, bring your hands all the way down, lengthen the crown of the head towards the floor. Inhale, come up onto the fingertips, bend your knees and straighten your back. Exhale, press your hands into the ground, move the right foot back, drop the back knee. Inhale, come up into a lunge, pushing back onto the left foot. Exhale, stepping back into a plank, bringing your knees to the floor, elbows back, chest comes down. Inhale, lengthening the legs, lengthening the chest forwards, cobra pose. Exhale, pushing back into a downward dog. Bending the knees, stretching the back, deep inhale. Exhaling, navel in, lengthening the legs. Inhaling, reaching the right leg all the way back. Exhaling, looking forward, bring your knee to your chest, push on the back to bring the right foot forward between the hands. Inhale, lengthen into a deep lunge. Exhale, step back into a forward bend. Breathing here deeply. As we inhale, let's bend the knees and reach the arms up, staying into a chair pose for a breath. Exhaling, look down at your feet, move your hips back. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, slide your hands down the center line. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, close your hands in front of your chest. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, fold forward, hands down. Let's inhale, straighten the spine. Come on the fingertips. Exhale, hands down, stepping the left leg back. Inhaling, rising the hands onto the right knee, pushing back and breathing deeply. Exhale, into a plank, knees down, chest down, elbows in. Inhale into cobra. Exhale into downward dog. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lengthen the arms, relax the shoulders. Exhale, drop the navel towards the spine. Inhale, stretching the left leg all the way back. Exhale, bringing the left foot all the way forward. Inhaling into a deep lunge. Exhaling into a forward bend. Inhale to a chair pose, arms forward. Exhale, looking down, pushing the hips back, sorry. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands down. Inhale, circle your hands around, reach up. Exhale, all the way to the forward bend. Right leg back. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, plank. Dropping the knees, coming down. Inhale, cobra, lengthening forward and back. Exhale, downward dog, navel in. And inhale, straight away, right leg back. Exhale, right leg forward. Lunge on the right. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, chair pose. And let's exhale, just come back to mountain pose. Inhale, circle the hands around, look up. Exhale, fold forwards, hands on the ground. Left leg back, drop the knee. Inhale, look up. Right leg back. Exhale, plank, knees, chest and nose down. Inhale into cobra. Exhale, navel back into downward dog. Inhale the left leg back. Exhale the foot forward. Inhale, look up. And exhale into a forward bend. Inhale into a chair pose. Exhale to mountain pose. Inhale, reach up, look at the hands. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, straight back. Exhale, right leg back. Inhale, look up. Exhale, left leg back. And let's stay into a plank. So look down to the front of your body. Engage your pelvis. Engage your navel. Make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. Push away from the floor. Relax your neck. Maybe making some neck circles. Breathing into a strong plank. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, push back into a downward dog. So look down the front of your body. And then look up your left arm. Look to your right arm. Adjust what you need to adjust. Your spine is straight. Your sit bones are pushing back. Your shoulders are away from your ears. The weight is distributed between your hands and your feet and between the four corners of your hands. We're going to exhale, drop the knees down, walk the hands in, and come to hands and knees. Now, if your wrists are not happy with too much body weight, you can come down onto one elbow. If you're okay, stay on your wrist. And if you feel like it's a lot on your wrist, try and engage your core and take more weight into your legs. So breathing in the center. We're gonna inhale, let the belly full, look forward. Exhale, engage the core, and as we keep engaging around the spine. Inhale, relax. Exhale, round. Inhale, relax. Imagine you're breathing in through your navel. Drawing a movement from the center of your abdomen. Exhaling, squeezing the navel in, rounding. Inhaling, coming forward. Let's see if you can keep your legs and your arms steady and let the movement come all the way to your shoulder and hips where your body is rotating around the head of the arms and the thighs. On your next inhale, you're going to come back to center. Take a breath here. Shift your weight onto the left leg. As we inhale next, let's reach the right leg back. So keeping it straight for now. And exhale, bring the right knee to your nose. Inhale, stretch back. Exhale, knee to nose. Now if you've got your balance, let's see if on the inhale you can also extend the left arm. And exhale, bring the elbow to the knee. Inhale, straight. Exhale, elbow to knee. One more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, come back. Let's move on to the left leg and right arm. So start with the leg first to find your balance if you like. And after a couple of movements, really extending the leg, getting that idea of moving through the core. Reach the right hand as well as the left hand. And bring the knee to the elbow. Exhaling, closing in. Inhaling, extending. Do one more. And come back to center. Now let's lean on the left forearm. So I'm bringing my forearm across. And I'm going to keep my right hand where it is, with my elbow a little bent. So my chest is closer to the floor. And keeping my core really strong, so I'm not sagging, letting the hips come up and the spine come down. I'm keeping that tabletop position, and I'm keeping that shoulder engaged as well. I'm going to inhale this time. I'm going to keep the knee really bent and reach the thigh up and then open the hip. And then as I exhale, I'm going to bring the knee onto the right elbow. Inhale, open it all the way to the side. Exhale, as close to my shoulders as I can. Inhale, reaching all the way back. Exhale, coming all the way to the shoulder. One more. Inhale, open. And exhale, the knee to the shoulder. Next, inhale, straighten the leg back. Exhale, bring it back down. And change right forearm under. Left hand next to your right hand. Let's inhale, open the hip to the side. Exhale, bring your knee to your shoulder. Inhale, open up. Exhale, close knee to shoulder. Inhale, open. Exhale. So breathing at your own rhythm, inhaling, opening, and exhaling, closing. It's not the most graceful movement, but it's really good to open your hips and work strength in your core and in your thighs. So let's do one more. Next, inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, come back to hands and knees. Take a breath here. On an exhale, lift back to downward dog. Stretching the legs. And exhaling, crossing your legs underneath you. Coming back to sitting. Lying onto the back. So take a moment to find length in your spine. Relaxing the shoulders down. And let's do the first set with the knees bent. So keep your feet into the ground, your hips into the ground, and your shoulders into the ground. Find how you can maintain them steady without tightening too much. Also keeping the hands palm down facing the ground. Now we're going to extend the right leg. And as we exhale, we're going to reach it up. Inhale, lengthen it away. Don't touch the floor. Bring it as close to the floor without touching it. Exhale, bring it up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, up. Inhale, down. Exhale, up. Inhale, straightening. Every time you come up, you might actually try and keep your legs straight. Push it a little onto the left leg and bring the right leg closer to your body. Inhaling, lengthening. Last inhale, extend. Exhale, bring the right foot down, and let's lengthen the left leg. So on an exhale, lift the left leg up. Inhale, lengthen. Moving with your breath. Notice the difference between both sides of your body, keeping the leg nice and straight, using the support of the right foot into the ground. Exhaling the foot up towards the ceiling or towards your face, depending on how flexible your hamstring is. Inhaling, lengthening, not touching the floor at the end of the movement. And one more. Exhale up. Inhale down. Now bring your feet behind your hips and take a moment to find whether your feet are on the same line, and also keep your knees same distance. You can lift your head and kind of have a quick look. You want your hips, your knees, and your feet to be aligned, both from side to side and from back to front. And we're going to start by lifting the hips up with an inhale. So keeping the tailbone moving towards the knees rather than towards the heels. Little tilt of the pelvis to lengthen the lower back as we lift first just the hips up. So inhaling up, exhaling down. Start with a very little movement, finding that kind of rounding of the spine. Feeling the chest lengthening, opening at the end of the movement, at the exhale, softening back into the ground. Notice if your body shifts, if it's kind of like sliding towards your head on the push, and maybe you can engage your muscles a little differently to try and just keep the movement in an up and down fashion rather than back and forth as well. Notice if you're stretching or stressing your neck or your shoulders, if you can relax a little more in everything that's not hips and legs. Exhale, relax down. And for the next set, let's see if you can move the arms up at the same time as the hips. So we're going to inhale, bring the arms all the way overhead, reach the floor behind us. And exhale, try and reach the hands and the hips on the ground at the same time. So this actually takes a little bit of coordination. Notice whether one hand touches the floor before the other. Slow down your breath to make it easier to have more time. Try and use your arms as if they were needles on a meter, measuring the fullness of your breath, being empty by your hips and full by the floor behind your head. And you might also feel to the hands when you're all the way up. Now on the next inhale, if it feels good for your body, you might stay up, arms extended, hips lifted. And every breath, you're going to lengthen, push the shoulders into the ground, relax the neck, lift a little higher. Every exhale, see if you can keep the poses, but really relaxing, really softening, letting go of all the muscle tension that you don't need to maintain this pose. And as you inhale, feel like you expand the front of the body. Exhale, relax. Just notice which muscles are required to hold this bridge pose and which aren't, and which you can relax. On your next exhale, slowly come back. And now let's try something. So I'll give you a few breaths to kind of figure it out, the first one. So like we did earlier, we're going to extend the right leg, inhale deeply. Exhale, bring the right leg up towards the ceiling. And on an inhale, let's see if you can push onto the left foot and lift the hips up with the right leg up. So might keep the hands by the hips for now. And exhale, drop the hips down. So we're keeping the right leg up and we're lifting the hips. Just notice the challenge. You can soften the knees if it's a little easier. Try and find something that feels good for your body. If it's really hard on your lower back, ease off and maybe go back to either just lifting the leg or just lifting the hips. And if you have it, let's see if we can stay up. Take a deep inhale, lift the hips a little higher. Exhale, soften, and maybe on the next inhale, bring the arms all the way overhead. On an out breath, lowering the hands and the hips, letting the right leg come down. Now take a few breaths with your knees bent or extending the legs, whichever feels good. Notice which parts of your body worked. When you're ready, on an inhale, extend the left leg. Already connect your right foot into the ground. Exhale, lift the left leg up. And inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, lower the hips. Moving with your breath. Inhaling, hips up. Exhaling down. See if you can keep your left leg really steady. Let's do 2 more if that's available. Moving slowly with awareness. Next inhale, stay up. See if you can exhale, relax a little. And inhale, the hands over the head. See if we can balance here, lifting the hips higher for full breath. Exhaling, coming down. Woo, it is a little cramping. So resting on your back or bringing your knees to your chest, stretching what needs to be stretched. When you're ready, bring your hands back to the floor next to your hips. And so you got your knees over your chest. Let's exhale, engage your core, draw your navel towards the floor. Inhale, stretch both feet up. On an exhale, you're going to lower the feet, hovering over the ground. Inhaling, both legs straight up. So we exhale the legs down. We inhale them up. If you feel this a lot in your lower back, you can come up onto your forearms or your elbows. Tuck your chin to your chest. Try and relax the shoulders and your head. It's all happening in the belly. So we inhale the legs all the way up. And exhale them nearly all the way down. And let's do a couple more. Or if you need a break, maybe rest with your legs up. Or if you need a bigger break, rest with your legs down or your knees onto the floor. Try and keep moving with your breath. Next, exhale. Bend your knees. Hold them up and bring them towards your chest. Take a breath here. And then hold underneath the knees or to the outside of the feet for a few breaths in the happy baby pose. So thighs are apart, coming to the side of the body. Feet are towards the ceiling. You can turn your head from side to side, look at your left shoulder, relax it, bring it closer to the ground. Maybe lift your head, look at your body. Notice your spine resting down, look at the right shoulder. Maybe look up with your eyes, just making sure your head is nice and loose. On an exhale, bring your feet back together. Let's hold underneath your knees. And we'll do a little more core work this morning. So you're gonna lengthen the back of your neck onto the ground. So you're gonna really shift your head as far back over the front of your mat or the back of your mat as you can, but then draw your chin into your throat. And then lift the head and lift the shoulders. And we're going to roll back and forth, but we're going to try and land directly into boat pose or a Navasana. So you can keep hold of your legs if you like. Take a little momentum. We take 1, 2, keep your chin tucked in, 3, 4 rolls, and on the 5th one, we're looking forward and we come up into Navasana. So legs, maybe not quite straight, and maybe arms stuck to your legs. Try and expand through your spine. Try and smile. See if we can bring the left hand inside the leg, squeeze it between the knees, and inhale, open the right hand. Exhale, change. Inhale, open left. So we exhale to the center. We inhale, we open. And exhale, come back and roll back onto your back. Take a breath or 2 on the floor. Softening your tummy as you breathe in, really breathing into the tummy, maybe letting the legs come a little away so you got more space to inflate the tummy. Feel the breath stretching the abdominal muscles. And again, we're going to tuck the chin to the throat, tuck the head in, and take 5 rolls. So you can make them as small or as big as you like. Don't hit yourself in the face with your knees. If you can nearly touch your feet to the floor. And on the 5th one, stay up into Navasana. And this time we stay steady. 3 breaths. Deep inhale. And long exhale. Maybe we stay another 5 breaths. Or take a break. Try and lengthen your spine. Try and reach your arms back into your shoulders. Bring your chest towards your shins. Balance on the sit bones. Smile. And on an exhale, roll back onto your back. Now bring your knees to your chest. And see if you can reach for your big toe. So you're gonna, first you're gonna Bend the baby finger and the ring finger towards the palms of your hand and point the middle and index finger. And you're going to slide that in the index and middle finger between your big toe and the next toe. And you slide them as far as they go. And then you wrap those first two fingers around your big toe and you close it with your thumb. Now, if like your toe is way too far, then don't worry about it and grab onto your shin, but like with quite a lot of strength. Like if you're trying to pull your shin away, your hand would resist, right? Or if the shin is too far, same thing behind the knee. So whichever option, do it on both legs. Just take a breath here. Maybe see if you can extend your legs for a hamstring stretch. So if they're not extending, like it's like the forward bend. So imagine your feet are pressing against the floor. You're going to first really lengthen your spine. So let the chin come towards the throat, the back of the head heavy on the ground. Breathing in, lengthening to the spine. So letting the hips relax down, letting the shoulders relax down. And on the exhale, softening the back of the legs. And then keeping your hold onto your legs. Let's soften the knees. Lift the hips a little. Take some momentum. And again, we're going to roll. 3, 4, and 5. And see if we can lift the legs up and hold them. So in a way, it's a little easier because you're holding. And just breathe. The first one, try and keep your arms straight. And your legs straight. And then work to straighten the back. Keeping the balance in between the sit bones and the sacrum. So trying to not lean too far back, but at the same time, not to lose your balance forward. Just check that your head is relaxed. Look down at your shoulders. Maybe move the shoulder away and down. And maybe move the arms back into the shoulders. Maybe there's a lot happening. Do whatever you can. And try and keep a playful mindset about it. It's not really about how much you can do it. It's like, that you're giving it a go and it is a little fun. And like, see if you've got your toes that you can maybe push with the toes, draw back with the shoulders. And on an exhale, roll back, relax. Take a breath out. Maybe make some circle with the knees over the hips. As the legs come apart, the thighs come apart, take a deep breath in. Open up, lengthen all the skin on the abdomen. And for the next one, we're going to bring the knees back together. We're going to hold underneath the knees, or maybe the back of the ankles, or if you can reach, the sides of the feet. Oops, try and stay centered. So find a place where your legs are kind of together and your upper body is kind of balanced. Maybe the legs can straighten a little bit. Maybe you can take this as a gentle hamstring stretch. So looking at your toes, lengthening your neck, lengthening your spine on the floor, letting your shoulders and your hips being heavy and being drawn by the ground. Feeling the stretch on the back of your legs. Let's exhale, soften the knees, take the chin to the chest. And again, stay rolls. Maybe 1, maybe 5, maybe less. 2, 3, mind your face and your knees. 4, and have fun. And 5. And on the 5th one, this time you're going to Extend your legs and bring your body, your face as close as you can to your legs. So whichever you're holding. Woo. Breathe deeply. And same, lengthen the spine, relax the shoulder, relax the neck. Push the feet into the hands, draw the feet back with the hands. So use that equality of force to balance you. Stay another 3 breaths. 2. And 1. Exhale. Roll back. Let your knees rest over your chest, hands on your knees. A few breaths here. Open your arms wide. And keep your knees over your chest, or if that doesn't work for you, just drop your feet back on the floor. And let's just be steady, let the breath come back. So you open your arms wide into a T shape. As you inhale, feel like you expand all of your chest, so lifting the front of the chest, the collarbones, and all the way to the sides by the shoulders. And as you exhale, notice the arms, the shoulder blades, the top of the shoulders, being really heavy and moving down towards the floor. Then you're going to keep your shoulders and your upper arms steady. Take a deep inhale where you are, and on an exhale, bend the elbows and slide the hands towards your head. So it's like robot arms. I don't know, can you see? Try not to look and just get the vocal cues because I know you're laying down. So it's like my elbows are level with my shoulders and my hands are level with my head. And again, I'm going to inhale, maybe push the arms into the ground to help lifting the chest. And exhaling, soften the arms, sink them down as the chest sinks back down towards the ground. And if it's not comfortable, you can bring the hands closer to your head or further away, or maybe the elbows closer to your ribs. And just notice, move very deliberately and with awareness of where is your shoulders going to be most relaxed and where does it get a little stretch. So maybe you're going to keep that same angle between the upper arm and the forearm, so not moving the elbows, and just sliding the arms so that the hands come closer to the head or over the head. And you take an inhale as you move, and then when you exhale, you just relax and let them be. And if it's twitching, if it's not nice, straighten the arms, move them, find a place that feels good for you, and try and let them there. And so your arms could be all the way over your head, and they could be straight, or they could be straight by your shoulders, or they could be straight by your hips, or your elbows could be bent. I'm going to try and keep the palms of the hands towards the ceiling. So wherever your hands are, just try and keep the palms up. And let your head and your arms and your shoulders be really steady, really heavy. Take a deep inhale, and on an exhale, roll your knees onto one side. Keep your head towards the ceiling. Inhale with your knees to the side, into the side body. On an exhale, draw your knees closer to the chest and back to the ceiling. Inhale here. And exhale, roll the hips and the legs onto the other side. And inhale onto the side. On an exhale, bring them back up. Inhale to the other side. No, sorry, exhale to the other side. So we're inhaling steadily, and as we exhale, we move. So we exhale, knees to center, inhale in the center, and exhale, roll the knees to your side. And you can change the angle between your knees and your chest. You can even go back to putting your feet on the floor and just moving the knees from one side to the other. They don't have to reach the ground if it doesn't work for you. You inhale to center, and like so, you could just have your feet on the floor, and exhale, just open the bottom leg. And inhale here, and exhale, close the knees again, and then do the other side. So really find what's going to be good for you. Try and keep your shoulders steady. And if they're not steady, then that's okay too. But be careful of what you're doing to yourself and try and make it feel nice. And then if it feels good, come onto one side and take 5 deep breaths into that side. Maybe you're going to turn the head opposite direction to the legs. On an inhale, you're going to come back to center. On an exhale, sorry, keep getting it wrong today. And then inhale in the center, and exhale, move your knees or your whole legs to the other side, maybe turning your head to the opposite direction. And stay 5 breaths on this side. And take a deep inhale here. On an exhale, bring your knees back to center. Squeeze them a little to your chest. Tuck your chin in and roll up to sitting. Extend your legs in front of you. And so for this one, like if it's really hard to stay upright, if it feels like it's bringing tension into your hip flexors, you can bend your knees, but you can also sit on a cushion or 2 or 3 cushions or whatever you need to help you sitting upright and in a steady position. So first, we're going to take a few breaths here. Just try and be relaxed and tall. So your arms should be relaxed. You can look down at your shoulders. Maybe you're going to bring your palms level with your hips. Maybe you're going to press a little bit on them, but only a little bit. So same, you're extending your legs through your heels. Try and find that feeling in your back when you're lying on your back and you're extending the spine from the sacrum to the back of the head, like sliding them away from each other, keeping the neck long. And let's bring the right leg in. And on an exhale, open it out to the side. So if it doesn't happen open all that much, you can keep the foot by the lower leg and support the thigh with your right hand. And like if your leg doesn't open all that much, then you just stay up here. Maybe lean ever so slightly forward onto the front of the sitting bones and just breathe to be as tall and relaxed as you can be. If your legs open more, you can bring the heel into the thigh or wherever it reaches onto the upper leg. Keep this leg nice and straight, extending towards the end of the mat and feet towards the ceiling. And then the right thigh comes towards the ground. And if this is a lot already, you stay upright. If you've got space, see if you can exhale, folding at the hips, keeping your head in check. So maybe hold your head and hold your heart and push. Actually, that's could be a nice one. So you're going to push, come back to center. So one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, right? And your chest is going to push this hand away, but this hand is going to keep your head from reaching forward. So pushing more with the chest and less with the head. So go as far as you want, as you can. Inhale, lengthen from the tailbone to the back of the head. And exhale, push the chest forward without pushing the head forward. And then when you're there, just relax your hands, bring them onto your legs, onto your left leg. Maybe take a deeper inhale. And then on an exhale, let yourself round, let the head come forward, but without reaching. So you're just softening your spine, you're letting it round forward, you keep extending through the left leg. Try and draw your arms back into your shoulder sockets. Let your head be heavy, but without forcing it down. More, reach the crown of your head in direction of your toe, and looking for your upper body to lengthen along the left leg. Then you're going to release the right hand and keep the left hand on the leg, whichever way it reaches. So you can hold behind the knee or the side of the foot. And on an inhale, you're going to bring the right hand back towards the right hip, out to the side, and reach it up. See if we can breathe here. Maybe bringing the left arm inside the left leg. Maybe extending to the right arm. See how that feels in your ribs. Maybe you're inhaling the right hand up and exhaling it in line with your body. If your head feels really heavy, maybe you support it with the left hand. And then the next inhale, reach up. Keep reaching up and bring your hand behind you. So facing towards the right thigh. And you could just be right here, and that's okay too. Then inhale, stand taller. Exhale, see if you can bring the left hand across the right thigh and twist a little more. And maybe you want to look, see where your shoulders are. Can you look all the way up? Is your neck stuck? Can you look down the center of your body? Are your shoulders either side of your chest? Or are they gone way out of line? Get another breath here. And on an exhale, come back to center. Extend the right leg again. Take a breath in the center. Exhale. The left foot in. And maybe this is where you're going to stay for the whole pose. So just to give you options. So instead of the next poses we're going to do, you might just stay here, hug your knee and breathe deeply. And then second option, you might just focus on like standing taller. And then maybe bring the right hand over to the right leg and just turn your chest a little more. And then for the final twist, maybe hold the left leg with the right hand and maybe turn a little more again. So depends. Or like maybe you're going to keep your foot here and you're going to hold it here and you're going to just breathe and try and just release. Like if your hip is really stuck and your leg doesn't go any further, then stay a long time here, but like really finding that kind of feeling of relaxation. And don't, so If it's not bulging, if it's not opening to the side, don't let it hang by itself, because that probably will put more tension in your muscles. Use your arms to support yourself. Use a piece of furniture so you can just lean to the side, and then just maybe inhale, stand taller. Exhale, soften. Play with your breath. So finding length with the inhale, finding softness with the exhale. Find if you like to twist one way or the other way. So just the practice to your own body and to whatever state of mind or energy or fitness you feel like you have today. I'm just going to turn this way to show you. So that's first option. But like if you do have the space to open your hip to the side, then you do that. You try and keep pressing the heel. Whatever you do, don't bring too much bend in the ankle. So keep the foot in line. Like if you had a cast, your foot is okay to move this way, but you don't really want to move it sideways. So if your hip doesn't open, don't go and force your ankle. And breathing into the side ankle first. And so lengthen your spine as you breathe in. Expand to the back of the body. Imagine when you're leaning on the floor, lying down on the floor, you're making your shoulders and your hips heavy. So imagine that there is a wall behind you and you're doing the same. You're not reaching back. You're just opening the shoulders, letting the hips rest. And you can also let that left thigh rest. And keep the right leg going forward, the bottom of the legs going towards the ground. And let's do the same thing again. So one hand on your heart and one hand on your chest. Inhale, lift up, lengthen. Exhale, push forward with your chest, hold your head back. Inhale, lengthen up, try and face really towards the right leg. And exhale, lean forward. So letting the heart hand go further than the head hand. Relax the neck. So you're not putting much force into your hands. It's just to try and kind of enhance your perception of what your body does, because there is a lot of tendency, and I do it myself, of like when you want to go forward, the only part of the spine that moves is the neck. And like our neck is well able to go forward. If anything, it does it a little too much when we're looking down at our phones or crouching on the sofa or anything like that. So this is going to stay nice and steady. And then we're going to try and expand the heart forward, get the extension in the thoracic and lumbar part of the spine. So every inhale, we're going to lengthen up. So making the heart move away from the hips and the head move away from the hips in that diagonal line. And on the exhale, moving as a whole unit towards the leg. And when this is as far as it goes, then we relax the head, the arms. We use them to hang onto the leg. And then we use a little of the strength of the arm to lengthen a little more. So again, heart forward. Head is just over the heart, doesn't reach. And then on the exhale, we can let the spine round, let the head come down, reach towards the foot. Keep that idea of just down the crown of the head moving towards the toe. But as the tip of a growing plant. So it's not just the head moving, it's the whole spine. And the end of it is the head, but it's not just happening in your neck. It's happening along your whole spine. And you can use a little arm strength to draw yourself forward, as long as you keep your right leg also engaged. So The right heel, sorry, is also drawing away from the right sit bone, and the arms are drawing back into the shoulder sockets. So if you're using your arms to pull yourself forward, you're not pulling the arms out of the shoulders, you're keeping the whole unit steady, and you're using it to draw the spine a little more forward. And then we're going to slowly release the left hand, keep hold of the right hand wherever we are, and on an inhale, turn the chest out to the side. And reach the right hand up. And if it's too far, we can keep the right hand onto the hips. We can keep the elbow up, whichever works. We can move the right arm inside the left leg. Keep that left leg nice and active. So find whichever alternative is going to work. Maybe reaching the left hand all the way up. As we inhale, expanding the chest. Exhaling, bringing the palm facing the floor overhead, lengthening the whole left side of the body. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, lengthen. And again, no tension in the neck. I can make a circle with my head. I can stay and rest my head on my bottom arm. I'm going to find whichever place works better for me. And I can't tell you. You are in your own body. So if this feels good for me because I need to stretch the muscles out of my ribs, maybe I like the twist, so I'm going to reach for my knee and expand this way. Maybe my spine isn't so supple, so I'm going to stay here. Listen to your body. Let yourself be your own teacher. And find that you can breathe freely. As you inhale, you can find yourself lighter and longer. And as you exhale, you find yourself taller. And then as we inhale, we're going to come back up from wherever you were to face the bent leg. Take a breath here. And maybe stay here. Or maybe bring the right hand towards the left thigh and twist a little more. And again, checking that the shoulders, the arms aren't popping out of the shoulders, that the neck is relaxed. Have a look down at your upper body, at the front of your body, and just remember what it was like on the other side. And does it feel better or worse, more flexible or less, easier or harder, whatever it is. And inhale, taller. Exhale, release. Just to finish up, let's bring your right leg in. So you bring the soles of your feet together. Again, if you're sitting on a cushion or a block or a pile of book or whatever it is, it might feel easier for you. You're going to hold the sides of your feet. Gently press the outer edge of the feet together. And just breathe here with a straight spine. So maybe you're going to let one hand go and put it on your tummy. And then try and move your hand straight up and see if it can move straight up or if it can't because your spine is rounding and when it goes up, it hits into your ribs. So maybe you're going to lengthen your spine a little more. And if that means you got to open your knees a little up, then that's okay. And just check yourself again. So moving the hand, I'll do this with this hand. And maybe you're going to hold the ankle if the feet are too high. And maybe your legs are going to be here. Whichever is going to work, right? But trying to, you can have your eyes closed or you can look. And so from tummy to chest, trying to have them lined up over each other. And then from chest to head, notice if your hand is moving really forward to get to your forehead. Maybe push the forehead a little Try and find that alignment. Lower belly, chest, and head. So you're not rounding forward, you're as lined up as you can. Then letting your arms come back onto your ankles. Maybe drawing the feet in a little more without changing the alignment. Maybe thinking about the back of your body. And imagine if you were to just roll onto your back right now or flip the room around and be leaning on your back. Would your back be straight on the floor? And then maybe let yourself reach forward. And notice if you can be straight, be straight. If you can't, then be round. Let yourself come over your feet. Make a little hold with your hands for your head. Breathe into your hips. Breathe everywhere you need to. Drop your hands back to the ground. Inhale, look forward and lengthen. And exhale. Bring your knees together. Slide back onto your mat. And let yourself lie down, taking Shavasana or corpse pose. So one leg at a time, maybe lifting it, twirling from side to side, and letting it rest back down into the ground. Same with your hips, your spine, your shoulders, both your arms, and your head. And then take a deep inhale. And exhale, let yourself sink down. Breathe in and out through your nose and notice your breath. And notice what else is taking your awareness away from your breath. So maybe it's a feeling in your body. And then pay attention to that feeling. See, what is it? Is it pain? Is it discomfort? Is it a feeling of restlessness? Observe the feeling before you react to it. Take another breath. Notice if the feeling is still there. And if you need to react to it, then make it a very conscious movement. And come back to stillness. And come back to your breath and notice what else is happening. And if it's thoughts in your head, observe those thoughts. So you're not running along with them and engaging and watching what's come next and logically thinking about it. You're just noticing, oh, I'm thinking about such. I'm going to take a deep breath in, exhale, let it go. And on the next breath in, I'm going to observe how having this thought feels. Does it feel like impatience of being able to interact with the thought? Does it trigger any other kind of feelings? Exhale and come back to the feeling of relaxing the body into the ground. And then on your next inhale, if you're still not just in your breath in your body, notice how the thoughts of the body feeling make you feel. What do they trigger? Where Do you feel it in your body? What emotions does it bring? Without putting too much words on it, without trying to understand why or how or should you not, just observing and taking a breath out and letting it go. Taking a breath in, taking in whatever it is that comes to you. And whatever it is, on the next breath out, let it go. And this is all you do. As you breathe in, notice movement in your body, feeling in your body. Exhale, let it go. Breathe in, notice movement in your mind, feeling in your mind. Exhale, let it go. Maybe inhale to feel, perceive something external to your body. Whether it's right next to you, like the perception of the temperature, maybe sunshine on your skin, maybe a little breeze, or maybe noise in the background. Whatever it is, see if you can let it be. Let it go as you exhale. Maybe you inhale and it's still going to be there. And exhale and let it go. Let it be. It might not go. It might just be. Let it. Try and draw your next inhale closer to center. Notice what center means to you. What body parts it might be drawn to. Keep breathing. Keep that feeling of acceptance with the breath out. It's all you have to do. Just accept. You don't have to agree with whatever it is. Just accept that it is and let it be. It doesn't mean that when you come out of relaxation, you're not going to try and change things. Change may be good, but there is a time for change, and there's a time to observe.